Hello, loves, and welcome to Cards and Stars, the series where I ask the tarot what your astrological placements mean for you. My name is Brandy, and this is Venus in Retro Tarot. Today, we're going to look at Sun in the first house. This will be primarily for natal placements, but this can also apply to Sun in the first house transits as well. And this is completely timeless, so you can come to this anytime you're having a Sun in the first house transit, and obviously your natal placements never change. So, if you have Sun in the first house, this will always be relevant to you. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for new weekly content. So let's just jump right into this reading. Okay, so let's talk about the Sun and what the first house is. So the Sun is our expression. The Sun is ruled by the sign of Leo, and it's all about our ego, where we want to shine as well. So you can look at the keywords on this card. It's our personal power, it's our vitality, our life force. It's where we want to lead. It's very outward energy, similar to Mars, but it's really leading and acting from a place of our self-expression. So that is what the Sun represents in astrology. And then the first house is, if we're looking at how, the signs naturally line up with the 12 houses, it corresponds with Aries, and that is where the Sun is naturally exalted. Exalted placements mean that is where the planet really loves to be. So even though the Sun is ruled by Leo, it is exalted in Aries. So it really loves to be in the first house because it's taking action towards its own self-expression. The first house is the self, and the Sun really wants to express itself. So, the first house can deal with your physical appearance, your early childhood, your goals and aspirations, really wanting to set yourself apart as an individual. So it really is your self-image, your identity. Who am I? It really aligns with what the Sun represents. So the Sun really does love to be in the first house. Different than the ninth house, which we'll get to, where the Sun actually rejoices, in the actual astrological wheel, but by zodiac sign placement, with Aries being corresponding with the first house, the Sun really does love to shine in the first house. So if you have this placement, congratulations, it's very auspicious. So what we're going to do is, I have this wonderful deck that I made, and it's called the Retro Archetypes, and we're going to look at what archetype kind of represents this for you, whether it's natally or by transit. So let's see what comes out. Let's give it a couple shuffles and see what wants to come out for Sun in the first house. Ooh. Okay. What is Sun in the first house's representational archetype? Let's see. Okay. The Gambler. Okay, that's kind of interesting. And I can kind of see that because, with the Sun and its expression, and really wanting to take a chance on life, I can see having the confidence to kind of take risks. Which is what I'm seeing here. This yellow color, this corresponds with the solar plexus chakra, which deals with our sense of personal freedom. And the Sun is also yellow in color. Like if you look up at the Sun outside, it shines really brightly. But this, to me, with the Sun being expression and the first house being itself, is like really taking a chance on yourself, believing in yourself that you can really do anything, that you can lead. You have a really, really good sense of self, especially from early childhood is what I'm feeling. And I don't want to forget to mention that you have to take the whole chart into account. And eventually I will be getting to all the placements in, each placement by sign and by house. So you'll really be able to put all of these together, but this is just Sun in the first house by itself. So if you're listening to me and you're like, Brandy, from childhood, I never felt like super confident taking risks, being a gambler. This is just one aspect of your chart. So you have to kind of put it all together when we're doing astrology, but this is just what is being represented by Sun in the first house. So yeah, the gambler really speaks to like a sense of confidence and, meeting your personal childhood goals or even, new goals that you set for yourself. Feeling very confident in your self-image and your identity and your physical appearance, and not being afraid to really step up and take leadership roles, really seeing that. So yeah, that's what I was feeling, that this place is really auspicious. So let's go ahead and pull your spread. And I've gone ahead and pre-shuffled, so I'm just going to do a couple more shuffles, and then we'll get into what the meat of what this really means for you. Okay, so we're back. Sorry, I just had to make sure everything was in frame. And look at the back of the deck, we got the sun in reverse, and that is actually ruled by the sun, which is Leo's ruler. So very aligned, and we will pull a card to see why the sun is actually in reverse on the back of the deck, but just we see that the sun is there. So let's go ahead and look at your first spread placement. And this is why you incarnated with this placement in this lifetime. We got the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Okay, so what this says to me is that you have really come to this life to learn how to move with the cycles of life and learn how to kind of take those bumps in the road, especially with sun being in the first house and, this being a really auspicious placement and you having a lot of life force energy, a lot of vitality. With the gambler being here, you used to being able to take risks. This card is ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter, sometimes when the Wheel of Fortune is in reverse, we can kind of lean on our sense of relying on luck a little bit too much because we're used to being lucky and, having our goals and aspirations kind of come to us because we're used to being a natural manifester. And that I can really see for you, where sometimes if the wheel is in reverse, it's like we're not seeing where we're kind of giving up our own sense of agency and kind of letting life happen to us rather than taking the bull by the horns, and then if something that happens, that is unlucky, we're not really used to that with sun in the first house. And the Wheel of Fortune in the upright is all about learning how to stay in your center because the wheel turns and it might be, in your favor. And then another time the wheel might turn and it's totally not. And we have to be able to learn how to ride the wheel in the center rather than on the edges and hoping that we don't fall off, right? Just praying, on a wing and a prayer. Hoping that miracles and taking gambles that it will all work out in our favor. So really, really feeling that you incarnated to learn how to, with this expression and this yang energy that's very outward, to learn how to really take control of your life force, of your vitality, of your personal energy, and not just let life happen to you, but learn how to, look, Aries, first house with Aries and Mars. Mars is really going out and making things happen for yourself. But there is a kind of dual lesson in understanding that sometimes there are forces that are out of your control and there's inherent risk in sometimes going, out. There are a lot of messages coming in, but going out and taking too many risks that might, not work out in your favor, if that makes sense. But I'm going to go ahead and pull a clarifier since this Wheel of Fortune is in reverse, see if I'm on the right track with this, because it just feels like, yeah, see, it might lead to, taking a lot of gambles in life, and then just relying on luck. This is the Five of Pentacles where, sometimes we feel like we're out in the cold or we've hit a period of bad fortune. So really coming to this life with this energy to learn those lessons, like maybe in early childhood, you had a really, good streak of luck. And then, going through your Saturn return, we all have those around, our late 20s. And if you haven't had one yet, it's coming, where we learn some really hard lessons. And, even with Jupiter, since we're talking about the Wheel of Fortune, we have a Jupiter return every 12 years. So, even by your early 20s, you've had Jupiter return to its placement of your birth by, let's say, 24, you've already had 2 Jupiter returns. So really understanding how that, sense of luck or, good fortune, bad fortune, because really Jupiter can be neutral. It's all in how we use that energy. So that's how I can kind of see where the sun in reverse is coming up on the back of the deck. It's like learning how to manage that energy of, okay, well, I want to shine, but sometimes like, oh, I'm not shining, and how is that affecting your energy? Is it totally putting you in a place where you feel, out in the cold, or are you able to kind of flow with the cycles of life? So you incarnated to learn that lesson of really how to stay in your center when things are going well. Remember, this too shall pass, that this is a really fortunate time in my life, but there will be times that are not so good. So just remember to be grateful for the times when things are going well. And then in the times when you're in this 5 of Pentacles space where, you took a gamble and it didn't really work out, that doesn't last always either. Like this too shall pass. So the next spread placement we're going to look at is the benefits of Sun in the first house. And I feel like we've already covered some of that. So let's see what the tarot has to say. Okay, and we got the Emperor in reverse. And not sure why the Emperor is coming up in reverse. The Emperor is ruled by Aries in the tarot. And here we go with the first house, where Aries and Mars are kind of like the natural rulers of the first house. So what I'm seeing are the benefits is that you come to this incarnation really already having a strong presence, a strong sense of self, a strong kind of philosophy of, I have a right to be here and I have a right to take up space. But one of the benefits that I can see with this energy, with this reversal, it's almost just like a reminder of not letting your ego, and we're, as spiritual people, I know there's so much talk about getting rid of the ego. Having an ego is human. And, if we don't have egos, that we wouldn't be human. So that's impossible. But it just is a reality check of like, you've come here with the gift of having a pretty solid sense of self with this Emperor energy, to not allow it to get overinflated, to really check your pride, because there are times when that might trip you up a little bit. But it is really a benefit to you to really have a positive sense of self and a really healthy self-esteem is what I see, a healthy self-image and a really vibrant personality. Because Aries to me is, a real trailblazer. They're like the child of the zodiac. And that really goes along well with Sun energy. That's where the sun is exalted, right? So that to me really speaks to having a healthy ego, but also, just the tarot is saying, keep that ego in check. Like, the Emperor card is ruled by the number 4. So the lesson of 4s in the tarot are about setting a proper foundation and also, being rooted. So sometimes when we're not rooted, it can, kind of give us a false sense of reality or a false image of ourselves. So just really keeping all of that in balance, because sometimes when reversals show up, it's a call to kind of pay attention to where we might be out of balance. So making sure that your expression of yourself is respectful, that you're not taking up too much space. And you have a right to take up space, Sun in the first house, okay? But really just making sure that you're not sucking up all of the air in the room. And that's not, to make you feel bad or to make you feel like, you don't have a right to take up space. That's just saying all things in balance. Make sure that you are giving space as much as you are taking up space, because just the way that you shine naturally, it's beautiful when you give people permission to do the same. Sun in reverse. So that's also a reminder, like, that you're here to show people how to shine, because you shine so brightly. And when we shine brightly, we give permission to other people, like, who am I not to shine? So who are you not to shine? Your beautiful, vibrant energy really invites people in, to really receive that. So what you want to do is be encouraging of that, especially with the people in your life, to really bring that sense of self-expression out of them and not just have it be about you necessarily. So that's just a little bit of advice. So let's look at what the challenges are for this placement. Okay. And this, to me, goes along with this Wheel of Fortune in reverse. That, with the gambler, like, we might rely on luck. The Eight of Pentacles is a card of self-mastery and of mastery of a skill. So just like I was saying, that this is a really auspicious placement, and that you have a healthy sense of self. You might have been a really lucky person, because look at this with the first house, natural tendencies. So you might have a really natural tendency to be good at things and really good at expressing yourself. You might be, easily noticed for things that you do well, where other people might have a harder time or do similar things to you, and they just don't get as much recognition as you do. And that could cause a sense of, I don't want to say laziness. I don't like that word. Trying to think of a more artful statement for that, but it can cause a little bit of, let me think of the right word. It's like you don't have to work as hard as other people. So there might be times when you really do put in less effort and you don't really live up to your full potential. Like, you do a great job. You could do even better, Sun in the first house, but it's like you're so used to being good at things and getting the praise, getting the recognition, getting the admiration, that you kind of stop at the point, maybe, let's look at this in the upright. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pentacles. Look. And we got the 5 of Pentacles here, and he's working on the mastery of making this 6th pentacle, and he's still got 2 more to go. Like, don't stop right here, and don't stop in the middle of making this 6th pentacle. Keep going and really perfect whatever skill that you have. This is also card number 8, which lines up with strength in the major arcana, which is a Leo card. Leo's ruled by the sun. So really, authentically creating, from a place, or working from a place that brings you joy, so that you can create for yourself a sense of mastery, and mastery over yourself as well, is what I see. That there might be some challenges where it's like, if you're used to taking a risk and hoping things will work out, that might cut you off from where you can really push past some difficulty in your life, and that might be shortchanging yourself, where this 5 of Pentacles could really speak to, you kind of cutting yourself off from, oh, this seems a little bit difficult, so I may not, I don't want to do that because this is the easier avenue. Like, this to me is saying that one of your challenges is don't take any shortcuts in your life, because you really could be cutting yourself off from more abundance. Like, taking with the gambler, taking a risk on yourself could be really pushing past some of the barriers, where, taking the lesser, the easier route might not have as much payoff, but learning how to be more disciplined, in the end, you will see so much more of a benefit. And this sun will be in reverse. It's like, you think you're shining now. Holy shit, just wait and see, what happens if you really put some discipline and some, persistent action and work into your life with, this Mars energy from the first house, where it's really driving you into action. Just keep moving. It's almost like, I'm hearing from, Finding Nemo with Dory, like, just keep swimming, just keep swimming. And I'm sorry for my terrible singing, but it's like, push past those obstacles. So this next spread placement for you is how you can use Sun in the first house to your highest potential. Okay, and we got Two of Pentacles in reverse. So we got a lot of reversals here. So even though this is a really good placement, this gambler energy, I'm feeling like really definitely keep it in check, because it might end up choking off a lot of this abundance for you, because I'm feeling a lot of tension with these reversals. But how you use this to your highest potential is really to learning how to keep things in balance. And this is all things in balance. The Two of Pentacles speaks to, all twos are duality. So it's, yourself and others, your work life and your sense of play and fun, your, sense of adventure and, what it is that other people find fun in your life, like keeping those balances, all things in balance. And so that you don't end up, you see how in this card, the water is very rocky in the background, and these pentacles, they're up in the air, and they're in an infinity loop. So it's almost like this, you create more of what is there. Like if you are imbalanced, you're going to create more imbalance. But if you have balance in your life, or you take a look and take steps toward where you can even out, and Two of Pentacles, this is on the material plane. The Sun is very fiery energy, where it's life force. It's like grounding down. It's really going to put you in an emotional state where you're not feeling at your best. You're not feeling like you're shining, like the Sun in reverse. So how you use it to your highest potential. This Two of Wands in reverse is just saying, really think about the ways that you really need to call in discipline, because this card is also ruled by Jupiter. It's Jupiter in Capricorn, and we have Jupiter present here. So what ways can you really use that sense of luck, that sense of, abundance, but really in a way that is stable and grounding? And Capricorn also, I was speaking of this Eight of Pentacles, which is ruled by Virgo, but Virgo is similar energy of like being practical and working towards a goal, not allowing obstacles to stop you. That sometimes the universe will put obstacles on your path to kind of give you a sense of like learning lessons about how to be more responsible. Capricorn is all about, responsibility and diligence and learning hard lessons. So, it's just remembering that life is not going to be easy all the time. But how to use that to your potential is to slow down, pull your energy back if you're kind of scattering it, and bring in a more of a sense of balance to your life, because it will feel a lot more peaceful, especially if you're used to being go, 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 do all the time. You may not realize how much you're leading yourself to burnout or working against your energy, because you already have this abundance of expression, and you may not need to work as hard to project that, or, to do, what is it that I'm really trying to get the message that's coming through? Like, you may not really need to, with this solar plexus energy, like try so hard to express and push for your sense of personal freedom, that you might need to rein in some of that energy that is so abundant that it throws you off of your center. Remember, because with this Emperor in reverse, like grounded energy, you're getting a lot of earth energy here to kind of bring you back down to your roots. So let's look at the next card. So this is the ways that you may work against yourself. And I feel like your cards are just repeating. Justice. This is a sense of needing alignment and learning cause and effect. Like, what did I say about the Wheel of Fortune? Like learning lessons. Justice is about learning from past actions. So it comes right after the Wheel of Fortune of, learning how to stay in your center. But it's like, if I do this, I can expect this outcome. If I don't do this, then, from past experiences, I know that this will happen. So, if you've been doing a lot of risky things, or, really not finishing up certain things that would be beneficial to your future, like looking past the now, because sometimes the sun, it's very like here and now energy. It's not forward thinking. It's like, the id, of like, what is it that I desire right now? What are those quick fixes? What's going to make me feel good, right now? And there's nothing wrong with that. We all deserve to feel good and have joy in the moment, but it's almost asking you to think further into the future, to really have a sense of balance, because here we go with an 11. This is a master number. This is more mastery, where you're really meant to think about your life path, your destiny. And this also with the 11, it reduces down to a 2. So this is more dual energy. It's like, am I going to use my energy to my benefit, or am I going to use it in a way that works against me? The choice is yours. Justice is an air card. So the decision is up to you how you use it, but you can really work against yourself if you're not using your wisdom, your discernment. This card, I relate a lot to the Queen of Swords, of keeping those scales in balance. But, the Queen of Swords is also ruled by Libra, which this Justice card is, of really being able to cut through the bullshit and see things clearly and call things as they are. And sometimes that might mean having to call yourself in, or call yourself out very gently and say, like, am I living in alignment, with this 11 energy? Are these scales a little bit out of balance? You see how the sword is worn. Am I fighting unnecessary battles that really drain me of my life force? Swords cut both ways. They can be used to hurt you. They can be used to defend you. It's really all in how you use them. But really, really considering how you could work against yourself if you're not bringing yourself into alignment. And then the next card that we're going to look at is overall advice for working with this sun in the first house energy. All right, and there we go again. This 8 of Pentacles in reverse energy really does mirror this 9 of Wands energy, because when I look at the 9 of Wands, I always think of don't stop before the miracle happens. And what did I say? Like working towards a sense of self-mastery, not giving up at this 6 of Pentacles, really working through to those 8s. Like don't stop at the 5, that you could be cutting off your abundance. So with this Knight of Pentacles, sometimes it can signal burnout. And that to me is also, there are 2 different messages coming through. It's like, don't use this sun in the first house energy to burn yourself out, because the sun is hot. And in the first house, it is yourself. So, what ways could you be using this energy to burn yourself out? Or what ways can you be using it to fuel yourself to a sense of completion? Wands are also life force energy. They're fire. And at the 9, it's like we're almost at the finish line. And what the 9 of Wands can also say is don't give up. But it all depends on the lessons that you're learning along the way of how you're going to use your life force, your vital energy, your passion, because you have it in spades. Are you going to use it in a way that really gets you to the finish line, in a way that makes you feel like, I did that, I really, met my goal and I feel fulfilled? Or are you going to feel like completely overburdened, overtaxed, that you really do have a choice in how you use your energy, either working against you, burning the midnight oil and feeling a sense of having no more fuel, really running on fumes, or, really feeling fulfilled and inspired to keep going at that 11th hour. So that's really, really important to consider for you. So I'm going to leave this sun in reverse there, and I'm going to take this off because now what we're going to do is we're going to pull some oracle cards with messages for you for sun in the first house, natal and transit. So let's see which one we're going to start with first. Let's pull some Moonology oracle cards. Let's see, what messages do we have for sun in the first house? Okay. New moon in Libra, a new romantic cycle begins. Okay, so that's something that might happen during a sun in the first house transit. Here we go with more Libra energy with this Justice card. Learning cause and effect. This might be important in your relationships where I see, you know, the Wheel of Fortune. This is all about cycles. Learning how your sense of expression, the way that you express yourself, can affect your relationships. And learning, you know, if things didn't work out in the past, what lessons can you take with you about how you express yourself and the ways that it can make people feel seen, or that it can completely eclipse someone else in a relationship. So really, really consider that. And then we have cardinal moon, be bold and make the first move. And I don't really think that that is a hard thing for you to do with sun in the first house. That's all about being bold and really taking action. So let's go ahead and put those there. And let's see what else we have for you. Okay. Let's give one shuffle. Okay, held. Sureness of the soil, unseen help, support, community. Yes, that with this sun in the first house, you can really be, you know, more reliant on yourself, you know, with this Emperor Sun energy. Not afraid to take a chance on yourself, but don't be afraid to take a chance on people in relationships, you know, because that can really enrich your life, and that you are held. The sureness of the soil, I can really see that with this earth energy and this 4 energy from the Emperor of being rooted, and the Wheel of Fortune saying stay in your center, be centered. And the sun in the first house with the unseen help, it's like, you know, your spirit guides, your ancestors, you know, whatever higher power you believe in has almost put you on this path, with unseen help to learn these lessons in this lifetime, that you have support, and don't forget to call in community, because this can be very solitary energy, or like I can handle things by myself. Let's see what else we have here. The breathing rose, heart healing, emotions, connection, time eases. Okay, yeah, so if you've been through heartbreak, you know, really take some time to do heart healing. Don't just try to move past it with the Sun Mars energy. Don't, you know, I know it can hurt our pride. I'm an Aries, so I know how that you know, sense of confidence and, you know, your pride, you can feel really knocked by that. But really don't forget to drop into your emotions. You know, with all of that active energy, sometimes you need to drop into that receptivity. Justice is ruled by Libra. Libra is ruled by Venus. So really, what ways can you foster more connection in your life rather than, you know, just relying on yourself? It's a big message that I'm getting for you. Okay. Let's see what else we have for you. All right, signs. Instincts are the message from the inner divine. Okay, and sun in the first house, you really do get those like super fast instincts from, you know, your life force energy, you know, that come from within. Just like it says here, unseen help, support, community. Pay attention to signs. There's a lot of purple in these oracle cards. So you have this card that is solar plexus energy. Maybe incorporate some of this red root chakra energy, ground yourself so that you can kind of work on your upper chakras that deal with divine connection and, you know, seeing beyond, because maybe with the sun in the first house energy, you're very, you know, you're very intuitive, I can see, but maybe you're cutting yourself off from that. But there are messages that, you know, the divine wants to give to you. You have a lot of unseen help, but really I see in the realm of relationships, like your guides, your ancestors, the god, the goddess, whoever it is that you believe in, even your higher self, they don't want you to be a solitary figure. They don't want you to live life just doing you, that you deserve to be in healthy relationships, rather than just, you know, being, you know, living for you, like to really have more balance, like self and others. So let's see what else we got here. Expansiveness. Eternity is far more creative than the rigid, constrained, and exhausted ego. Okay, like just like I said with the Nine of Wands, like don't overexert your ego. Allow for a more expansive energy in the realm of relationships. Expand and really push the limits of what it is that you think you can do. Because I guarantee if you think that, you know, you're capable of a lot, sun in the first house, you're capable of even more than that. Guarantee it. Okay. This is for sun in the first house. And if any of these messages are resonating, definitely leave me a comment and let me know, because I'm really excited about this series. And, you know, I hope to, you know, that people really want to tune in and see more of these. Okay, and we got card 39, back on task. Be sure you are using your time in the best possible manner. Didn't I say that? You might consider reviewing your goals, your schedule, or a project you're working on. All could use some fine tuning. 8 of Pentacles in reverse, 9 of Wands. Like, don't give up, get back on task and work towards your goals. Okay, let's see what else we have here. Yeah, because you can do big things. Look, another card, 11. Look at this, Justice energy. Persistent drive. See what you desire and move toward that goal. It is time to zero in on your purpose. Use your intuition. Didn't I say that? Signs, messages from the inner divine. Use your intuition and instincts to guide you for the optimal outcome. So yeah, don't just, you know, rely on taking chances with this gambler energy. Yes, take a chance on yourself, believe in yourself, but don't rely on luck. Like, put some persistence in there and really, some elbow grease is what I'm thinking. Like, hard work really does pay off, and hard work doesn't have to be what we think of in this capitalist patriarchal, you know, society. It really can be things that bring you joy. Like, it doesn't have to be drudgery. Sun in the first house, it should be fun. Like, it should light you up with this solar energy from the inside. And that's how you'll know it's truly made for you. So let's get some personal power oracle cards. Personal power for sun in the first house. I am authentic. All right, and that is Leo energy. This card is ruled by Leo. Shine from your authentic self. Like, if whatever it is that you're creating in relationships, in every aspect of your life, the first house is about yourself. Shine from an authentic place. Like, don't be afraid to show who you are, because that's how you will know what's meant for you. The responses that you get will really show you that, you know, what is meant for you. The people that are meant for you, they will respond positively to your energy. And, you know, the other, if there are negative responses, then, you know, like that's not for me. That, you know, that group is not, that community is not for me. And that signs, those are big signs and red flags. And then, you know, the green flags of people that really make you feel a part of a group, a part of the whole. You know, that's how you'll know that that's where you're meant to be, because you're meant to be connected. If you feel disconnected. Okay, let's see. And look at that. I am celebrated. And look, this is even the creator of the deck. I believe this is her. She's so beautiful, but I am celebrated. Yes. So you'll know where you truly belong, because the people in your community will celebrate you. And I see that, you know, you're divine, you know, the divine guidance, the unseen help, your ancestors, your spirit guides, that you are celebrated on the other side. And that your successes will be celebrated. The things that you accomplish, that, you know, when you really, really push yourself past those limits that you think you have. So let's take a look, and especially for you, Sun in the first house, with this, you know, big inner child energy. Let's pull a inner child oracle card and see what message we have for you. All right, and we got find your haven. Okay, so you are in need of a hideaway, a little piece of magic that is just for you. Remember what it felt like to find a hidden place, one that hummed with its own special kind of energy. Begin to think about where you might connect with this energy as an adult, what it might feel and look like now. Take steps today to create or find this place. Okay, and that might really be related to finding a haven for your next creative project, finding a safe space for, you know, to connect with the divine, and a safe space for a community. Didn't I say, like, being your authentic self was going to be very important? That if you have to, you know, step out of your authenticity, what I really see is an exhausted ego. It's really going to make you feel this sun in reverse energy. Like, why am I not shining? But you're meant to be authentically you. And if any, you know, group or relationship makes you feel like you have to put on a mask, you will know right away that that's not the place for you. If this is your natal placement, or you're going through a sun in the first house transit. And if you need a copy of your birth chart, I should have said this in the beginning, I have a link in the description box. I use whole sign houses, but feel free to use whatever house system works for you. I just like the cleanness of whole sign houses, and I use a mix of traditional and modern astrology. So whole sign houses just speak to me. But yes, you need a safe space, a hideaway, especially since you are, you know, your sun is very prominent. You are used to being seen. You need a place to recharge your energy with this 9 of Wands, you know, in a place where you can really, you know, get back on task, to get centered and focused on you. And, you know, that will invite more of what it is that you're seeking into your life. So it seems kind of counterintuitive that, you know, you need a safe haven away, but that actually will invite more heart-centered connections into your life. But I really feel like if you're going out and seeking more connection from a place of burnout, of, you know, feeling like you're always on the go, that, you know, that energy, that frenetic kind of frantic energy is going to attract those type of people. And maybe that's not what you want. You want some, you know, people that are in alignment with the energy that you want to attract. And if you're putting that out, that might be, you know, what is magnetized to you. So really just something to consider. But that's all I'm seeing for you, loves. Make sure to leave a comment letting me know what resonated for you. Also, let me know what placements you'd like to see next. I'm going to get to them all, but I don't want to keep you waiting if there's one that you really want to see. And thanks so much for being here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this channel. I appreciate you helping it grow. Hit the notification bell too so you don't miss any of my future videos. Stay safe, be gentle with yourselves, and I will see you again soon, okay? Bye, loves.